What's up, it's your boy Super Mario 1990 coming at you with an Uncharted trailer reaction. This is Uncharted the movie, y'all. The trailer is finally here. We finally gonna get this movie. It's supposed to be coming out February 2022, and I cannot wait because, man, Uncharted, this is my second favorite gaming franchise. Only behind the Metal Gear Solid franchise. So I'm glad we finally getting the movie, y'all. I remember back like over a decade ago, back when I was in college. It was supposed to be a thing back then. At that time, Mark Wahlberg was supposed to be Nate Drake. And I was kind of myself thinking like, okay, I love Mark Wahlberg, especially as Marky Mark too, like, being a rapper, Good Vibrations and all that. I've always been a fan of Mark Wahlberg, man, one of my favorite, actors, right? And so I'm like, outside of being white, he doesn't really bear a resemblance to Nate Drake. And I think his voice is going to be a little off too. Like, imagine Mark Wahlberg trying to, speak as Nate Drake. It'll just sound funny. Like, all you gotta do is jump, count to three and pull the cord. It's like, that ain't really gonna work. So I was like, he's not the best choice. I feel like Nathan Fillion is the obvious choice. And I was watching him in, Castle, and I'm like, he has the look, he has the voice, he even got the same first name. I'm like, Nathan Fillion is perfect for playing Nathan Drake, right? We already saw that fan-made movie that he did a few years ago. He did a really good job, nailed it, was excellent, right? But now, try to do a movie now, he a little too heavy, he a little too thick. Ain't nobody gonna believe he's swinging from buildings like Tarzan. He gotta lose, like about, 20, 25 pounds. But, I guess that window has passed. But Mark Wahlberg at the time, in pre-production, they just had like a bunch of directors going in and out of the project, a lot of different writers, and, their stuff wasn't getting greenlit. So it was just hard for the movie to get off the ground, to the point where Mark Wahlberg was like, well, if we're not going to do this movie, then I'm just out. And so now it's funny because it's like 10 years later, he's old enough to play, Sully, who was Nate Drake's mentor, because so much time has passed. And now we got Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, which to me, I think is actually a pretty good casting choice. At first, I was kind of like, he's not the perfect choice, obviously. I already said what the perfect choice was. But, I think he is a pretty good choice because the funny thing about it, when I was playing the Uncharted games, when I was first playing them, I was always reminded of Spider-Man, like back when I was first playing them. Because I would say that because, like, Spider-Man and John McClane, because just in combat situations, just the way they would be, like, with their comedic commentary during battle, they would have banter with their foes. They would always drop these, like, slick little one-liners. They always had like a lot of sarcasm going on, and it was like a great way to, like, a great device to kind of like break the tension in heated moments. And I feel like as far as, just banter talk with the enemies, like John McClane, Spider-Man, Nate Drake, they are the best characters to do that. And so since Tom Holland, I think, does a great job of playing Spider-Man, I'm like, all he has to really do is kind of like transfer that into Nate Drake. He just has to, like, be Nate Drake, but he can already do like the whole comedic thing, while fighting people. So I'm like, he has that down. So I feel like, even though he doesn't look like Nate Drake, I feel like he still could pull Nate Drake off. But we gonna see in this trailer now, finally. We got, him playing Nate Drake. We got Mark Wahlberg playing Sully. I feel like as far as Sully goes, the perfect choice would have been Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell already has that voice, bro. And he's already that old, Because I thought when I played the games, I actually Googled, tried to IMDb Bruce Campbell because I really thought he was doing a voice of Sully. I was surprised when I found out that it wasn't him, but I'm like, man, he sounds just like him though. But they didn't go with him either for that, but that's alright. We gonna watch this trailer though, and I'm gonna give y'all my impressions. So let's check this out, y'all. The Uncharted movie. Oh, here we go.
There are places out there you can't find them anymore. They're not gone.
What's up with his voice though? He doesn't sound like Nate Drake. He sounds like Peter Parker from his MCU Spider-Man. I don't like that.
Hey kid, a little young for a bartender, aren't you?
A little old for prom, aren't you?
Everything in here.
Why the map? This is the path that Ferdinand and John took to sail around the world.
You know your history.
It's the biggest treasure that's never been found.
5 billion, easy.
Whew.
I think you're here because of your brother.
Well, you know my brother Sam?
Oh, Sam Drake's mentioned. Some Uncharted 4. This is Uncharted 4. They got the environment and the setting down pat, y'all. The atmosphere is looking perfect. Oh, Chloe.
Sully doesn't have any friends. I should let him one of them.
He like his feelings was hurt when she said that.
You are Clint.
Well, I dabble.
I'm Double. My family has been looking for this potion for a very long time. So much blood.
Oh. Nice.
I'm pretty sure he's just threatening to kill me.
Don't touch your ear like that. You look like an idiot.
You have no idea how about everything.
Oh.
I've been hearing about this stuff since I was a kid. My brother Sam left one final clue.
That voice is not. Oh, they got Uncharted 3 in here. The cargo plane. You better wake up, dude. You in there. You need to wake up. Oh. Oh. Yo. Oh. Oh, that's nice. Nice. What are you saying?
What?
Oh. Oh. How you gonna get down from there?
Exclusively in movie theaters.
February 18th. Okay. Oh man, I don't want to say nothing bad because it's Uncharted, bro. No. Like, okay, the movie does look good. Okay, man. What disappoints me is Tom Holland though. Like, okay, I'm just gonna get this off right now. Tom Holland does not seem to be embodying Nathan Drake fully. They're doing a good job of like the costuming and everything, right? Like, and the aesthetic as far as like the body type and everything. He's slim and everything. He's young. He looks believable to be doing all the action sequences, right? But that voice just ain't there. He just sounds like a normal, like Peter Parker from the MCU. Like, I know I did say that I was reminded of Spider-Man when I play as Nate Drake. I understand. I did say that. But at the same time, though, Nate Drake is a unique character, right? Especially like in the gaming industry. He's a unique, iconic character in gaming. So he does have his own brand. He has his own brand of humor, right? His whole style of like, delivery, approach, comedic timing, all the comedic sensibilities. They're very unique. So you have to embody that in a particular way. You can't just be like, well, I played Spider-Man and let me take the Spider-Man thing and do Nate Drake like that. Not really. You gotta still embody more Nate Drake because the fans are gonna come see Uncharted. A very big part of Uncharted is Nate Drake and his character. It's so iconic. So it's like Tom Holland is really missing the mark in his portrayal. It just does not fully embody it. It's like it's his own interpretation and it doesn't really work. The crazy thing about it is the movie looks really good. Like, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking the atmosphere, like I said. I like the environments. You see a lot of callbacks to Uncharted 4, especially Uncharted 3 with the cargo plane. The settings, the locales, everything is there. The way they got these characters looking. Obviously, Mark Wahlberg doesn't have the mustache, which I understand that complaint, but at the same time, not everybody can rock a mustache. I'm sorry. Now, yeah, they should have just got an actor who could, be a little more like, Sully. The crazy thing is, I feel like Mark Wahlberg sounds more like Nate Drake than Tom Holland does. It's like he's still on that thing from 10 years ago where he was supposed to be Nate Drake. And he's kind of like trying to do old boy's job. It's like, nah, man, you Sully. You can't do that. So that's kind of crazy to me. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it's going to take points off of this movie because the movie does look good, but it's like Tom Holland's portrayal, I don't know, man. And then Mark Wahlberg, he's kind of doing his old thing as Sully too. So it's kind of like not full embodiments of, characters. I pretty much just care, though, more so that they get Nate Drake right because Nate Drake is one of my favorite characters. Like I said, this is one of my favorite franchises in gaming. I would say Nate Drake is in my top 3 as far as characters go. Like, I got Solid Snake. I had Nate Drake in number 2. Nate Drake number 2. Big Boss probably number 3, Super Mario number 4, right? But it's like, I don't know, man. People complaining about the whole mustache thing with Sully. I can let it ride because Mark Wahlberg would look weird with a mustache. Like, not everybody can wear mustaches the right way. Not everybody is built for that. Not everybody has that kind of look, right? So I'm like, he can go without the mustache. I'm cool with that. That would just look really, really weird. But, you know, if you're going to play an iconic character, you got to do that. But I care about getting Nate Drake right more than anything. And, I don't know, man. Tom Holland ain't really bringing that like he's supposed to. He just has his, like, own interpretation, which is cool if you're going to do that with Spider-Man. Because I feel like with Spider-Man, like, I'm no comic book guy, but there's been millions of adaptations of Spider-Man throughout all sorts of different medias, right? So it's kind of like you can switch it up here and there because you've seen Spider-Man so many different times across so many different projects. So it's kind of welcoming to do something a little different. Like, you know, his Spider-Man, I think he kept the qualities of, you know, the combat, you know, banter, right? He does that really well. You know, he plays a different kind of Peter Parker, but he does have some, like, core elements of Peter Parker that you're familiar with, right? But it's like, you know, being like having, you know, as Iron Man, Tony Stark is your mentor, and then fighting alongside the Avengers. Like I say, I don't read the comic books, but I'm pretty sure that's not canon. I'm pretty sure that's something really, really new. So he can do some like new things and have his own interpretation of Spider-Man. But I feel like with Nate Drake, because this is your first movie that we're seeing from Uncharted. This is the first time we're seeing Uncharted go from anything outside of the gaming world. So Nate Drake, being as iconic as he is, he has to have a close resemblance in the movie. You can't just have your own interpretation of him and do whatever you want. You have to embody him fully for the fans to really be comfortable with this movie and really want to go out and see it. And I feel like Tom Holland is not executing that properly. I feel like the writing is there. Like, it's not spot on, but they're trying. At least from what we see in these clips. Maybe it's better when you see the movie, but as far as these trailer clips go, the writing seems to be there. But when you see the performances, when you see the execution, Tom Holland isn't really bringing it like he's supposed to. Not as fully embodying Nate Drake. He's doing something else. And so it's kind of like it's missing the mark. Even at the very end when he says, "Oh crap," I can tell he actually tried to attempt to do Nate Drake's voice, but it still didn't come off right. It was still a little off. So it's like, it's going to take some points off, man. But I like everything else that I'm seeing in this movie. I'm liking the, you know, sequences. I'm liking the settings. I'm liking the environments. I'm liking the aesthetic of the whole set. Like, they are really capturing what the Uncharted games look like, I feel like. But the performances we'll see about. The characters we'll see about. Because I feel like everything is there. It's just, how are the actors going to portray their characters and how are they going to execute well? I honestly feel like it's okay. It's just Tom Holland as being the lead and being Nate Drake, a very iconic character. You gotta really embody it fully, and he's not doing that. He's doing his own thing. So it's gonna bring it down a little bit. And man, I don't know, man. I really do want to see this movie though. I am gonna see this movie. We'll see how the COVID thing is. I want to see it in theaters, really. That's what I really want to do. But, you know, we'll see. I will see this movie. And it does look good. It just, you got to ignore a lot of things about Tom Holland as Nate Drake, which is a hard task to do. I just can't do it. So I feel like it's going to be one of them things where I feel like it's iconic enough. You're going to get, you know, box office dollars. Like, the movie is going to make its money. It's just when it comes down to the critical thing, like, you know, critiquing the movie and giving it reviews and just how people like it, how people receive it, I think that's going to be polarizing. It's going to be split. It's going to be like people really hate it because of the performance. It's not there. Or they like it. It's cool. You know, it's all right. I feel like it's probably more for people who haven't played the games. But if you're into this genre or action adventure, you might see it. You can overlook it because you're not familiar with the characters. But that's going to be, I feel like, a small percentage. Most of us are going to be fans. So we want to see this game. We want to see this movie done right as far as the games are concerned. Like, I know we're not going to get the actual games. You made the game before. You're not going to get it based off of, you know, the actual game all like that. And they already announced they're not doing that. It's more of a prequel kind of setting story, right? But you want the characters to be accurate. Very, very accurate. I feel like they got the looks down, not by the face, but as far as what they wear, you know, and everything. but it's just like how they talk. Tom Holland ain't doing it, man. So that's a little disappointing. We'll see how it goes, but this movie is confusing because everything else looks good. It's just that's such a big part though, being Nate Drake. If you can't get that right, it might bring some things down, and people might not be able to overlook that and see all the other good that the movie has to offer. Which I think the movie does a pretty good job of doing everything else well. I really want to see that cargo plane scene. That was like one of the funnest moments in the games. I'm glad that the movie is doing that. I honestly didn't expect them to do that, but we'll see how it goes, man. But yeah, y'all, man. Let me know how y'all feeling about this movie. I'm feeling good, you know, but it's just they messed Nate Drake up in this one, man. So it's like that's gonna take some points off. I really, 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 really want to love it. I think I might end up just liking it and just having to ignore Tom Holland's presence as Nate Drake, which cannot be done because he's just so iconic. So it's like you can't ignore Nate Drake if he's not being played right. That's a big part of what's gonna make Uncharted Uncharted. And it's looking like from the clips of what we're seeing, Tom Holland's gonna drop the ball on that. But you know, we'll see, man. I'm hoping for another trailer to get more of what we're gonna see in the action sequences. I feel like a trailer closer to the time will show us a little more of like the story, Antonio Banderas and his villain, more of his presence maybe, and like more in-depth look at the characters. And here we had a good trailer because it showed you a chunk of everything that the movie has to offer. It showed you that dynamic between Nate Drake and Sully. It shows you like introductions to Chloe, you know, Antonio Banderas' main villain. It shows you like a good clip of the locations in here, the settings, the environment, how they captured the look and feel of Uncharted. They did that really, really well, like I said. Can't say enough about that. They showed you some of the action sequences. I would like to see a little more. I don't feel like I can take Tom Holland seriously, though, gunning people down. I saw that clip when he was shooting at people, and I'm like, with your voice and how you like playing Nate Drake, I don't see you really pulling it off as believable. So I don't know, man. That might take the movie down a bit, but you know, we'll see, man. But it's your boy Mario 1990. Let me know how y'all feeling about the movie. Do you love the Uncharted franchise? Have you played the games? What's your favorite one? My favorite is Uncharted 4. My fourth favorite game of all time, Uncharted 4. Love that one. How you feeling about this movie, man? Who you think should have played Nate Drake and who you think should have played Sully? I feel like Nathan Fillion and Bruce Campbell would have been the perfect combo if they'd have made this movie back, 10 years ago when they were first originally trying to do it. That would have been the perfect combo. They both are like perfect because Bruce Campbell has that voice for Sully, right? He can have that look. Nathan Fillion already had that look. He already had that voice. He would have been perfect, man. He had the comedic timing and everything. Like, he can drop the one-liners. He can do it all. Like, that would have been perfect, man. Like, you would have had a bomb Uncharted movie. It would have been the first movie that would be, like, widely successful as an accurate video game adaptation if they would have done that. But, this one is not going to be that. But I think it'll still be a good movie. It's just some things are going to fall flat and not be executed well, I feel like. But I still think it has some promise, some potential. But a lot of people are not going to like it, I think. But I think I'll enjoy it, just not thoroughly, not as much. I'm going to have to look at it in a different light, too, I feel like, to accept the movie. Which you shouldn't have to do if it's going to be a faithful adaptation. But, we'll see how it goes. But it's your boy Super Mario 1990. I'm out. Peace in.